Good part of the day, dear students. Today we're going to have lecture on country study that is devoted to traditions and holidays of British people. Let me start lecture today with two questions. So, which of you, who is eating kaymak today with the bread? So, kaymak is considered to be our Uzbek very nourishing breakfast. And who likes wearing atlas or atras among you? So I do hope and I'm sure that all of us at least have one atlas or atras dress, so to put on the occasion on traditional holidays. So let's compare the given pictures. So what do you see here? Yes, you are right, greetings. So different types of greetings that are the part of culture as well. So let's start our lecture with holidays and traditions of the British people. I'm senior teacher of Bukhara State University, Jalilova L J Mamlakatshunoslik. So let me start with the question. What do you know about traditions of British people? And what do you want to know about traditions of British people? At the end of our lecture, I will ask you, what have you learned? And what do you still want to learn about traditions of British people? So our lecture today would comprise the hidden element. And the hidden element, so it wouldn't be the hidden elephant, but any element, so let me have a hint, that is connected with our Uzbek culture. So if you see it, would you please shout, I love Uzbekistan. Our plan today comprises 3 points. So the first one is devoted to British holidays and festivals. The second one to Christmas and New Year's Day. And the third one is devoted to British religious holidays. So let's look at the pictures. So which British holidays can you illustrated here? Can you find here? So British holidays and festivals, they are the Christian and secular festivals that are traditionally celebrated in England. Most festivals are observed throughout England, but some, such as Oak Apple Day, Souling, Rushburying, Balming, the Thorn, and Hogtide are local to certain regions. So here in the pictures, so from the right side from me, you can see Oak Apple Day, and from the left one, Rushburying Holiday, which are local to only a certain region of Great Britain. Let's start with the Plough Monday, which is traditional start of the English agricultural year. Plough Monday is generally the first Monday after 12th day Epiphany, the 6th January. References to Plough Monday date back to the late 15th century. The day before Plough Monday is sometimes referred to as Plough Sunday. The day traditionally saw the resumption of work after the Christmas period in some areas, particularly in Northern England and East England. So on the picture below, you can see the model, the straw boy. The customs observed on Plough Monday varied by region, but a common feature to a lesser or greater extent was for a plough to be hauled from house to house in procession collecting money. They were often accompanied by musicians, an old woman or a boy dressed as an old woman called the Bessie, and a man in the role of the fool. Plough pudding are the boiled suet pudding containing meat and onions. It is from Norfolk and is eaten on Plough Monday. Instead of pulling a decorated plough during the 19th century, Men or boys would dress in a layer of straw and were known as the straw bearers, who begged door to door for money. The tradition is maintained annually in January in Whittlesey near Peterborough, where on the preceding Saturday, the straw bear is paraded through the streets of Whittlesey. So on the picture, you can see a model of it. The next holiday is Mother's Day or Mothering Sunday. The United Kingdom celebrates Mothering Sunday, which falls on the fourth Sunday of Lent. This holiday has its roots in the church and was originally unrelated to the American holiday. Most historians believe that Mothering Sunday evolved from the 16th century Christian practice of visiting one's mother church annually on the latter Sunday. As a result of this tradition, most mothers were reunited with their children on this day when young apprentices and young women in service were released by their masters for that weekend. As a result of the influence of the American Mother's Day, Mothering Sunday transformed into the tradition of showing appreciation to one's mother. The next holiday is Easter Day. The celebration of Easter Day is not fixed and is a movable observance. Easter Day, also known as Resurrection Sunday, marks the high point of the Christian year. It is a festival and holiday celebrating the resurrection of Jesus from the dead, described in the New Testament as the having occurred on the third day of his burial after his crucifixion by the Romans at Calvary 30 AD. It is a culmination of the Passion of Jesus, preceded by Lent, a 40-day period of fasting, prayer, and penance. In the United Kingdom, Good Friday and Easter Monday are bank holidays. Traditions include going to church, eating Easter eggs, and hot cross buns. In the north of England, the traditions of rolling decorating eggs down steep hills and paste egging are still adhered to. So here you have to shout, Allah Uzbekistan. So as we have on the picture below, so it is the tree of date. So date that we use, so we have on our tables during Ramadan, during that Easter days, so that can be the equivalent to the England holiday as well. So the next holiday is Halloween, the festival which is celebrated on the 31st of October. The term Halloween is derived from the phrase All Hallows Even, which refers to the eve of the Christian festival of All Saints held on the 1st of November. It begins the 3-day observance of All Hallowtide, the time in the liturgical year dedicated to remembering the dead, including saints, and all the faithful departed. Modern customs observed on Halloween have been influenced by American traditions and include trick-or-treating, varying customs, and playing games. Trick-or-treating is a customary celebration for children on Halloween. Children go in costume from house to house, asking for treats such as sweets or sometimes money, with a question, trick or treat. The word trick implies a threat to perform mischief on the homeowners or their property if not treat is given. The practice is said to have roots in the medieval practice of mumming, which is closely related to souling. So in here as well, you have to shout Allah Uzbekistan. So what can you see on the picture below? So it is a monument which is devoted to the Uzbek hero of jokes, Nasreddin Efendi. So, and to tell the truth, this monument is not situated in Central Asia, in Uzbekistan. This monument is in Moscow. The next holiday is Guy Fawkes Night, which is known as Guy Fawkes Day. Bonfire Night and Firework Night is an annual commemoration observed on 5th November, primarily in the United Kingdom. Its history begins with the events of 5th November 1605, when Guy Fawkes, a member of Gunpowder Plot, was arrested while guarding explosives the plotters had placed beneath the House of Lords. Celebrating the fact that King James I had survived the attempt on his life, people lit bonfires around London. And months later, the introduction of the observance of the 5th November Act enforced an annual public day of thanksgiving for the plot's failure. The present-day Guy Fawkes Night is usually celebrated at large organized events, centered on a bonfire and an extravagant firework displays. So bonfire describes a set of celebrations held in town of Lewes, Sussex, that constitute the United Kingdom's largest and most famous bonfire night festivities, with Lewes being called the bonfire capital of the world. Always held on 5th of November, the event not only marks Guy Fawkes Night, the date of the uncovering of the Gunpowder Plot in 1605, but also commemorate the memory of the 17th Protestant martyrs from the town burned at the stake for their faith during the Marian persecutions. The next holiday is Christmas and New Year's Day. So Christmas is an annual commemorating the birth of Jesus Christ, observed on December 25. A feast central to the Christian liturgical year, it is preceded by the season of Advent or the Nativity Feast and initiates the season of Christmastide, which historically in England lasts 12 days and culminates on 12th night. Christmas decorations are put up in shops and town centers from early November. Many towns and cities have a public event involving a local and regional celebrity to mark the switching on the Christmas lights. Every year, Norway donates a giant Christmas tree for the British to raise in Trafalgar Square as a thank you for helping during the Second World War. Christmas carolers at Trafalgar Square in London sang around the tree on various evenings up until Christmas Eve. And Christmas decorations are traditionally left up until the evening on January 5, the night before Epiphany. It is considered bad luck to have Christmas decoration up after this date. In practice, many Christmas traditions such as playing of Christmas music largely stop after Christmas Day. So mince pies are traditionally sold during the festive seasons and are popular food for Christmas. Other traditions include hanging advent calendars, holding the nativity plays, giving presents, and eating the traditional Christmas dinner. Other traditions include carol singing, sending Christmas cards, going to church, and watching the Christmas pantomime for children. So here we have to show it. I love Uzbekistan. So as we have on the picture below, sumalak. Sumalak, which is traditional food for New Year Day, for Nowruz Day in Uzbekistan. So the next point of our lecture is devoted to British religious holidays. So the first saint of Britain, St. George Day, also known as the Feast of St. George. So this day is celebrated on the 23rd of April and traditionally accepted the date of the saint death and the persecution of AD 303. St. George Day was a major feast and national holiday in England on a par with Christmas from the early 15th century. The tradition of celebrating St. George Day had won by the end of the 18th century after the union of England and Scotland. Nevertheless, the link with St. George continues today. For example, Salisbury holds an annual St. George Day pageant, the origins in which are believed to go back to the 13th century. The next religious holiday is St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day, or the Feast of St. Patrick, which is celebrated on the 17th of March, and it is a traditional death date of St. Patrick, the foremost patron saint of Ireland. It was made an official Christian feast day in the early 17th century and is observed by the Catholic Church, the Anglican Communion, especially the Church of Ireland, the Eastern Orthodox Church, and the Lutheran Church. The day commemorates St. Patrick and the arrival of Christianity in Ireland, and heritage and culture of the Irish in general. Celebrations generally involve public parades and festivals and the wearing of green attire or shamrocks, which are the state symbols of Ireland. St. Patrick's Day, during which Christians who belong to liturgical denominations also attend church services, and historically the Lenten restrictions on eating and drinking alcohol were lifted for the day, which has encouraged and propagated the holiday's tradition of alcohol consumption. So St. Patrick's Day is a public holiday in the Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland. St. Patrick's Day is celebrated in more countries than any other national festival. Modern celebrations have been greatly influenced by those of the Irish diaspora. However, there has been criticism of St. Patrick's Day celebrations for having become too commercialized and for fostering negative stereotypes of the Irish people. The next holiday is St. Andrew's Day. It's the feast day of Andrew the Apostle, and it is celebrated on 13th of November. St. Andrew is the disciple and the New Testament who introduced his brother, the Apostle Peter, to Jesus as a Messiah. He is the patron saint of Cyprus, Scotland, Greece, Romania, Russia, Ukraine, as well as St. Andrews Island in Colombia, St. Andrew in Barbados, and Tenerife. St. David's Day is the feast day of St. David, the patron saint of Wales, and it falls on the 1st of March, the date of St. David's death in 589 AD. The feast has been regularly celebrated since the canonization of David in the 12th century. Traditional festivities include wearing daffodils and leeks, recognized symbols of Wales, and St. David, respectively. Eating traditional Welsh food, including coal and Welsh rarebit, and women wearing traditional Welsh dress. So now we came to Venn diagram, and we can find out similarities and differences of British holidays and Uzbek holidays. So some similarities were illustrated on the pictures of that hidden element. At the end of the lecture, you will be able to answer the given questions. So, as I promised in the beginning of the lecture, now it's time to ask you, what do you still want to learn about traditions and holidays of British people? You can share your suggestions. I would like to finish my lecture today with some strange, weird customs from across the world. So it is the championship for making the funniest face in England. Let's look at that picture. So this hilarious expression below is what grinning looks like and it is a rural English tradition which is celebrated since 1267. There even existed a World Gurning Championship in England in which participants make the most grotesque face possible. If you think this is a silly tradition, you couldn't be more wrong. Four-time World Gurning Champion Peter Jackman, whose picture you can see, got his teeth removed to make his expression easier. So what a dedication, you see. The next word holiday, it is a throw the baby for good luck in India. This ritual is mostly followed in Karnataka, where newborn babies are thrown off the 50 feet high Sri Santeswar temple. Before you jump to conclusion, the babies are obviously caught by the family in the class. Couples who are blessed with a baby after taking a vow in the temple follow this 500-year-old tradition, and it is believed to bring good luck to their babies. So that is all. Let's finish our lecture today, and I will be glad to answer your questions later.